We are all on social media. We all use internet, and this concerns all of us, you and me. A deepfake video of Southern superstar Rashmika Mandanna has gone viral. The video shows a woman entering an elevator, but the face has been morphed to look like Rashmika with use of artificial intelligence. The viral fake video has sparked concerns about the misuse of AI and its potential to further gender violence online. Then there was this one, Katrina CF, another victim of deepfake. In Katrina CF's case, a digitally altered image of the actress from her upcoming film Tiger 3 surfaced online. While the original picture showed the Bollywood star fighting a stunt woman clad in a towel, the edited version showed her wearing a low-cut white top and a matching bottom instead of the towel. Then we had Prime Minister Narendra Modi flagging the deepfake concerns. He revealed that there is a fake video of him performing Garba going around. The Prime Minister called the deepfakes a big crisis. Before getting into our debate over this important concern, let me try and break it down for you as to what really are deepfakes. These are digital media edits, manipulations using artificial intelligence tools. In other words, it is hyper-realistic digital falsification which makes a fake thing look as good as real. Easy access to technology algorithm has led to a deepfake epidemic on the internet, and no one is safe, just no one. In these videos, faces are swapped using tech, AI, to change the subject from original to intended. And it is not just videos, even audio files and images too are manipulated using AI tools. So the next obvious question is how to spot a deepfake from a real one. Look for unusual or unnatural features or movements in the video. Unnatural eye movement and lack of blinking is another giveaway. If the subject is not blinking at all or blinking in an unusual way, you should know it is fake. Also, look out for any unnatural facial features and expressions or blurs around the face. A sloppy lip to voice synchronization can also tell you that the video is fake. Some deepfakes may also have dull shadows around the eyes and unrealistic facial hair. Like every technology, the deepfake can be used or abused. So while it can be of great use in the field of education, do wonders with artificial sets and graphics in film production, help with criminal forensics investigation, and also enhance an artistic expression, the same technology, if in wrong hands, can, and also with those who have ill intention, can damage reputation. It can also be used to fabricate evidence in a case, or to defraud the public, and above all, undermine trust in democratic institutions with fake content. Now, the IT Ministry has taken a serious view of the concerns regarding deepfakes, and IT Minister Ashwini Vaishnav will in the coming days meet social media platforms on the deepfake issue. IT Ministry has already issued notices to social media platforms, Meta and Google. The IT Minister has said that the tech giants will have to take more steps to tackle with deepfakes, and has added that platforms will not have the safe harbor immunity clause if they fail to take sufficient measures to remove deepfakes. So where does the buck stop? Do we need more and perhaps stricter regulation? What technology companies need to do? And above all, how can we, the digital citizens, protect ourselves from this clear and growing danger? Joining me on the show, Jaspreet Bindra is founder of Vispra Limited UK. Ankush Sabharwal is an AI and tech expert. We have Dr. Katrina CF, cyber law expert, and Pawan Duggal, CEO of Artificial Intelligence Law Hub. I'm going to begin with you, Pawan Duggal. You know, the question is that Section 66E of the IT Act of 2000 is applicable in cases of deepfake and, as crimes that involve capturing, publishing, or transmitting a person's images in mass media, violating their privacy. My question is that is the fine here of 3 years imprisonment and fine of just 2 lakh rupees enough to stop this menace? And can it really stop its creation and circulation?
The answer is a crystal clear no. The reason for this is that Section 66E was never drafted keeping in mind deepfakes. So while some elements of deepfakes could be brought within the ambit of 66E, the fact still remains is it still does not cover the issue of forgery. More so when you are forging electronic records through technology for the purposes of cheating. That's where Section 468 of the Indian Penal Code jumps in, which is a far more serious offense, punishable with 7 years imprisonment and fine. So under Section 66E, it's a bailable offense. Most of the police is going to be hesitant to even invoke 66E because 66E talks about a person doing it, whoever publishes or captures the images of a private part of a particular person without his or her consent, intending to intrude upon the privacy of the concerned person commits the offense. So the perception of the law is that there has to be a human element which is going to be committing the offense. But in this case, deepfake itself commits an offense when it's going ahead and creating those false records. So rather than 66E, a better choice will be to go into 468 of the Indian Penal Code. But then also, there's going to be a huge problem because, again, you will have to show that electronic records have been forged. Well, in this case, these are not electronic records forged, but new electronic records which are created, which could then bring ourselves to a completely bigger issue as to whether India now requires to make up its mind as to how does it want to deal with the menace of these deepfake crimes. I think with AI crimes and deepfake crimes, I'm crystal clear that the IT Act and the Indian Penal Code are not going to be adequate. And it will be time that India will have to come up with new legal frameworks so as to go ahead and provide for deterrent punishment for AI crimes and deepfake crimes. Otherwise, it's going to be a very, very tall order going ahead.
Yes, Dr. Seth, take this thought forward.
Yes.
You know, the need for a stronger legal framework to address issues such as privacy, data protection, and cyber crime. While India
Absolutely.
has some laws, but as Pawan Duggal said, that it can be applied, cannot be applied to combat deepfake technology. There has to be more specific legislation to address what is a unique challenge here.
Maria, I think this is an important issue right now. We all understand the gravity of the situation. However, the laws are completely inadequate, even as according to me, because that's something that IT Act is not really equipped to deal with at this juncture, because we don't have the AI law in place. While we are talking about the Digital India Act, and there will be some provisions on AI, I still have a very strong feeling that we need a separate legislation to deal with these AI and deepfake issues. Not only does it lead to defamation, or it would involve identity theft or cheating by personation, it could also land up in phishing attacks. Like in Kerala, there was another case which was reported where a video was generated through using a deep fake, and that led into phishing attack. So that's something. The consequences are grave. It could even land up into a cyber terrorist attack. It could also involve sentiments of, religious sentiments of people being hurt through misinformation and fake news. So deepfakes are not just limited to injury or damage to persons, but also it could involve IP assets as property, and even affect the nation as a whole or its people. So it's high time India rises to look into a special law for this whole combating these kind of cyber crimes, which are not probably found earlier. But now with technology and the pace at which technology is moving, simply having some provisions in the new legislation which is underway, may not be a sufficient remedy or recourse to go in for. Okay. So that's my viewpoint, personal viewpoint.
Yes, because there is that misuse of deepfakes for extortion, also for fraud.
Yes.
That's why,
Extortion.
Mr. Bindra,
Yes.
my question is that the quality of deepfakes has evolved significantly in recent times. You know, it's almost making it difficult to distinguish between what is real and what is fabricated content. Then how much should the platform be held accountable? Because if you remember what the Prime Minister said, that he said that AI and chat GPT, all those should perhaps make it like have a warning that this is injurious to health, just as the cigarette packets have.
Yeah.
Well, the deepfakes are not a recent phenomenon or a recent problem. They have been around for 6-7 years, if not more. And celebrities have been impersonated across the world, starting from 2016 or 17. So it's a 6-7-year-old problem that we are talking about. Of late in India, we've suddenly seen a spurt, and therefore there's attention, and in fact, welcome attention, that we might start relooking at the laws, etc. You're right. What has happened is that the sophistication of the technologies used, something called generative adversarial networks, which create deepfakes, has substantially improved as AI itself, compute powers, etc., have also improved. In fact, it is not an AI which creates a deepfake. At the end of it, it's a human who uses AI to create a deepfake. And even these humans, using that AI, have become better and better at doing so. So now it has become much more difficult to figure out what is a deepfake or not. Certainly much more difficult to the naked eye. But simultaneously, we have also started having technologies being developed to detect deepfakes. So AI-based technologies developed to detect AI-based deepfakes. It is difficult, but it's not impossible. And I think both from a regulation law viewpoint, as our my learned companion said, but also from a platform viewpoint, we have not taken these with so much seriousness. And I think media platforms can. Now, it's not about ChatGPT, frankly. ChatGPT cannot create a deepfake. Okay, and even if an AI deepfake is created, I think the bigger problem lies not at the AI platform, but at the social media platform. Because that is what spreads the deepfakes. If there was no one to spread the deepfake, it wouldn't have really mattered. And so at those social media platforms is where we need far more stronger policies and as much effort and technology and education and regulation and policy as possible to stop the spread, because the spread is the real issue. The creation is not that big an issue as the spread of it is.
Then what do we do, Mr. Sabharwal, going
Maria,
forward?
may I come in
Yes,
this
yes, Dr. Seth.
comment?
Let me take opening comments also from Ankush Sabharwal, please. Because outright banning might stifle technological advancement, enforcing penalties will become crucial here, but we do not really have a legal framework which is strong enough.
Yes, we need to report these, deep fakes within 24 hours. If there is something like that reported, it needs to be removed as per the Ministry of IT also and the rules. However, how quick is going to be the enforcement? The challenge is the spread. So although social media platforms like WhatsApp or others are, coming up with technology and related, new equipments or other solutions where you would be able to filter out or block certain content or its duplication, or even inform people that this is actually suspicious of being fake or being a deep fake. Yet that may not be, it may be a preventive step that people become aware. However, to get the laws enforced, the laws are there, whatever is existing, even that is difficult to implement because of the technological challenges involved. So who is the originator after all, and how, can we impute intention and knowledge to someone who's actually forwarded it gullibly, or how to determine this is somebody who's got the knowledge and intention to do so. So that is the challenge for all law enforcement, in fact, individuals or agencies, rather, officers to understand.
But the point that was being made
is difficult.
But the point that was being made by Jasprit Bindra, I want to understand from you, Ankush Sabharwal, AI to tackle AI, that there are technology now which is in place to understand and perhaps find an answer whether a particular picture or video is deepfake.
Absolutely. So I think, that's probably the right tech solution which we techies should have, AI to detect whether it's created by AI, not as Mr. Binda said about GAN. Yes, I think there are systems in place, but now the sampling and the data is too much about a subject in the public domain. Even AI fails to identify whether it's created by AI or not. The accuracy of those fact checkers is not much. So I think if, as probably the policy makers, I think we need to think about coming up with uh, authentication the way we have for the manufacturing products. We have ISI, and for the process driven products we have, say, ISO. I think for AI products we should have some kind of scoring to find out what's not only the authenticity part of it, but I'll always talk about four things to identify the safety score for any AI system. What's the purpose of this AI system? The explainability of these algorithms and the output coming out. So that, as you were saying, the disclaimer. Yeah, the disclaimers are very, very important for any AI system, and the privacy part of it and inclusivity in gathering the data. So I think laws are there, and the laws, I think, would definitely be used based on the new tricks and new techniques being applied by the creators. But I think it's more of these process-driven authentication score also. I think if that comes up from the policymaker, technology can be made. But again, so
So
technology.
you are emphasizing on authentication. Jaspreet, your thought on that, and then I'll seek a view from Pawan Duggal.
Sure. It's an arms race, Maria. Much like viruses and antiviruses, people would create viruses, someone would create an antivirus, people would create a better virus, someone would create a better antivirus, and the arms race continues. Okay. The same arms race has begun in the whole deepfake creation, deepfake detection, deepfake creation, detection. So as one gets better, the other gets a little more better. So for example, you mentioned shadows, okay, and how you can kind of see whether there are shadows or not. There are AI detectors which see unnatural shadows and can detect them far better than the human eye, and therefore authenticate and create authentication scores. There's also the use of technology which we used to talk about a lot, which is the blockchain technology, because some used in the right way, potentially it can create what is the origin of these deep fakes. And so I think we'll need to use some of these technologies and possibilities to actually see that how we can win in this particular arms race. The last thing I want to say, Maria, is that I think the seriousness with which we need to look at this, I sometimes think that these are like online acid attacks. The way people used to do acid attacks physically on more women to disfigure them, to embarrass them, to destroy their life. We are doing this same thing online. We treated that seriously, created laws for it, and hopefully that's reduced. We need to think of this the same way.
Okay, so those are strong words there, because the intent is malicious here, and the entire purpose is to harass, intimidate, demean, and undermine people. That's becoming evident, Pawan Duggal. So, while we look at the legal framework, what should the companies do? What should these platforms do?
First and foremost, the platforms need to engage in self-regulation and self-control. And that would mean putting in place appropriate technological measures by means of which they can flag a deep fake video or an audio for the consideration of the users. Let them not wait for the government, because the government is likely to come up with or could come up with certain due diligence parameters under Section 87 of the Information Technology Act 2000, whereby mandating these service providers to put in technological measures to prevent the dissemination or publication or forwarding of such kind of deep fakes. But that's on one end. On the other hand, I think much bigger onus will be on sensitizing the users that this deep fake has the ability to completely devastate a person's life, his or her mental balance, could completely prejudicially impact the reputation, goodwill, and standing, and ultimately could also be used as a weapon to threaten the sovereignty, security, and integrity of a country like India. So I think we have to look at the holistic perspectives. We need to make people more sensitized about the ill effects, ask them not to share much information. Well, if you're giving ready fodder on the public domain or on social media in the form of your sensitive photographs or personal information, then that's like ready-made material for these cyber criminals to keep on lapping on with the deep fake. But ultimately, the time has come where users have to now inculcate a feeling of distrust and mistrust in their minds. Let's not go ahead and rely upon any information. Till such time, we are not able to be independently verifying the authenticity or veracity of the same. Deepfakes are going to be with us as part of our day-to-day lives. Let's take some basic due diligence and caution to avoid becoming victims of deepfake crimes.
So what could be these due diligence, Dr. Seth?
Well, the due diligence would involve, for example, there are practices to watermark the AI-based, created assets. So whether those are really AI-based or not, one could even have those watermarkings on them. One can also go and look in, fact-checking websites. Even newspapers have, online methods to check, whether this information or news is correct or not, whether a video or a photograph is correct or not, or if it's just been morphed. So that is another thing. And how it is being circulated, by what source, if you can identify it's coming from a stranger or not. So every day you have new kinds of videos and morphed videos. Today also there was, another issue where we were dealing with a particular letter which looks like a morphed letter, but it's not genuine. And that was also, regarding some deep fake involving a video. And that's something that, people are being duped and cheated. So this is not something that is limited to personal harm only. There are lots of people who are becoming victims of sextortion rackets, especially women. Cyber crimes against women has been on a phenomenal rise because of these misuse of technology. And that's what we need to caution the public. We need to create
the threat is real,
more awareness of.
And it's right around the corner. So caution and perhaps some measures must be taken, and even as the government looks at a legal framework. Jaspreet Bindra, Ankush Sabharwal, Dr. Katrina CF and Pawan Duggal, appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. That's all from me. All the news and updates on ndtv.com. Thanks so much for watching.